Story 1. Don't look outside. It had been a long day at work, and all I wanted was to unwind and enjoy my Friday night alone at home. I settled on the couch with some snacks, ready to watch a few movies and forget about the stresses of the week. As I was engrossed in the film, my phone suddenly buzzed with an incoming text message from an unknown number. Don't look outside, the message read. My heart skipped a beat, and a chill ran down my spine. I felt a surge of fear and confusion wash over me, but I tried to convince myself that it was just some kids playing a prank. I gathered my courage and approached the window, hesitating for a moment before peering outside. There was nothing there, just an ordinary dark night. I breathed a sigh of relief and blocked the number, hoping that would be the end of it. Trying to shake off the unease, I went back to watching my movie. However, after about 30 minutes, my normally calm and quiet cat started hissing at the back door. This was unusual behavior for her, and it sent shivers down my spine. I turned off the TV, my heart pounding in my chest. All I wanted was to escape the unsettling events of the night and head upstairs to my bedroom. But to get there, I had to pass by the back door. I took a deep breath and slowly walked towards the stairs. My eyes darting around, half expecting to see something or someone lurking in the darkness outside. Before reaching the stairs, I peeked outside again, trying to understand what had agitated my cat so much. But once more, there was nothing out of the ordinary. I scooped up my cat and rushed upstairs, trying to convince myself that it was just a bizarre coincidence. The following night, I couldn't shake off the feeling of unease from the previous night's events. However, I didn't want to let fear control my life, so I poured myself a glass of wine and tried to distract myself by texting my friends. But my attempt at normalcy was shattered when another text message popped up on my phone from yet another unknown number. Such a sweet cat. Too bad she can't save you this time, it said. My heart raced, and I immediately called the police for help. As I waited for the police to arrive, I heard movement from downstairs, near the basement window. Panic surged through me, and I hurried to the kitchen to grab a knife for protection. My hands were shaking as I tried to comprehend the horrifying situation unfolding in my own home. To my horror, I found my beloved cat lying lifeless just outside the basement door, surrounded by a pool of blood. Tears streamed down my face as I cried out for her, devastated by the loss. Fear and anger intertwined within me as I yelled, "The police are on their way! If you come up here, I will kill you!" I retreated to my bedroom, unable to believe that someone could be so twisted and cruel. The minutes felt like an eternity as I awaited the arrival of the police. The sounds of footsteps on the stairs from the basement only amplified my terror. I held my breath, praying that the police would come quickly. Finally, I heard a knock on the front door, and the dispatcher informed me that the police had arrived. However, I was too afraid to go downstairs. I explained the situation to the dispatcher, and they assured me that they would take care of everything. With forceful determination, the police entered my home and thoroughly searched the premises. Yet they found nothing except for the tragic scene of my cat's lifeless body. They informed me that they would do everything in their power to find and arrest the sick individual responsible for this heartless act. In the aftermath of that horrifying night, I couldn't shake off the fear and trauma that had invaded my sanctuary. I made the difficult decision to move to a new location and change my phone number, hoping to escape the haunting memories and start anew. The sense of safety I had once felt in my own home was forever shattered, but I vowed to never let fear control me. The sick individual responsible for my cat's death and the chilling messages was never found, leaving a haunting sense of uncertainty and fear. But I refuse to let their twisted actions define me. I will hold on to the strength I found within myself and live my life with vigilance and resilience, determined to protect myself and those I care about.
Story 2. The Kidnapper. My name is Sarah, and I'm a single mother raising my 16-year-old son, Alex. We had been through our share of ups and downs, but we had always been a close-knit duo. Until that fateful day when my world was shattered by an ominous text message. It was a typical morning when I received a text from an unknown number. "You will never see him again," it read. My heart skipped a beat, and I felt a cold knot of fear in my stomach. Who could be sending such a horrifying message, and what did it mean? I tried to brush it off as a prank, but the unsettling feeling lingered in the back of my mind. For a week, everything seemed normal, and I tried to convince myself that the text was nothing more than an empty threat. But then, on a Wednesday like any other, I came home from work to find Alex missing. He was usually home by the time I arrived, so my concern quickly turned to panic. I called him in a hurry, praying he would pick up and reassure me that he was fine, but there was only silence on the other end of the line. I dialed again and again, but Alex still didn't answer. I couldn't ignore the haunting memory of the mysterious text message. Fear gripped me, and I knew I had to take action. I called the police and explained everything, from the disturbing message to Alex's sudden disappearance. The police came to my house to take my statement and see the text message. They assured me that they would investigate and do everything they could to find Alex. I spent the night frantically calling his friends and the school, hoping for any leads, but no one had seen him since he left school that day. As the night dragged on, I received yet another chilling text message. "Now you understand, huh?" The fear intensified, and I immediately rushed to the police station to show them the new message. They put the case on high priority and initiated a team to trace the location of the texts. With their expertise, the police were able to pinpoint the source of the messages to a specific area. They sent squads to search the entire vicinity, but it was a vast area, and the search would take time. In the meantime, I couldn't sleep or eat, consumed by worry for my son. I kept praying that he was safe and that we would be reunited soon. It was a torturous wait, but I knew the police were doing everything they could to find him. Then, after 24 agonizing hours, a neighbor reported hearing disturbing noises from a house nearby, the same location the text messages had originated from. The police acted swiftly and decisively, sending in a SWAT team to investigate. Inside the house, they discovered a horrifying scene. My ex-husband, Mark, was attempting to choke Alex, who was naked and terrified. The SWAT team acted immediately, subduing Mark and rescuing my precious son from harm. I rushed to Alex's side, hugging him tightly as tears streamed down my face. I couldn't believe the horror my son had endured, and I was filled with both overwhelming relief and intense anger. Mark, my ex-husband, was someone I had once trusted, but his actions were unforgivable. The police arrested Mark, and as they gathered evidence, we learned the chilling truth. He had kidnapped Alex out of jealousy and resentment towards me, seeking to hurt me by taking away the most precious thing in my life. As I held my son close, I vowed to never let anyone harm him again. We were both deeply scarred by the experience, but we would heal together. Alex and I found solace in each other, and with the support of our loved ones and therapy, we began the long journey to recovery.
Story 3. The Loner. My name is Jerry, and I've always been a bit of a loner at school. Friday nights were usually spent at home, feeling the weight of my loneliness. But one Friday night, everything changed when I received a text message from someone named Adam, a fellow student from school. "Hey Jerry, it's Adam from school. Would you want to come hang out with us tonight?" the message read. My heart skipped a beat as excitement and suspicion collided in my mind. Why would Adam want to hang out with me? It seemed strange, but the possibility of making new friends overpowered my doubts. With a mix of hope and hesitation, I decided to give it a shot. Maybe this was my chance to break out of my shell and find some real friends. I headed to the location Adam mentioned in the text, my heart pounding with anticipation. As I reached the designated spot, there was no sign of Adam or anyone else. My heart sank, and the feeling of rejection washed over me. It seemed like I had been played, and the loneliness I tried to escape crept back in. Disappointed and ready to head back home, I turned to walk away when a man's voice called out, "Hey, are you Jerry?" Startled, I turned to see a man standing nearby. He looked friendly enough, and he mentioned that Adam and his friends were just around the corner. Adam had a reputation as one of the cool kids, so I figured he might have older friends. Hope flickered again, and I followed the man around the corner, but as I turned, he was no longer there. I felt a wave of unease, but curiosity got the better of me, and I continued on. To my shock, the man suddenly reappeared right in front of me, wearing a sinister smile. Before I could react, he grabbed my arm with a vice-like grip. Panic surged through me as I realized I was in grave danger. I was frozen in fear, unable to break free from his strong hold. The man began dragging me towards a white van parked nearby. My heart pounded in my chest as I desperately searched for a way to escape. I knew I had to act quickly if I wanted any chance of survival. Summoning all my strength, I pushed with every ounce of energy I had left. Breaking free from his grasp, my adrenaline-fueled legs carried me away as I ran for my life. I fumbled to dial the police, my breath hitching with fear. As I told them about the situation, they assured me that they were on their way. The man, now desperate to flee, sped away in the white van. The police, arriving just in time, decided to pursue him. The chase was intense and nerve-wracking, but after an hour of pursuit, the van crashed into a tree and the police apprehended the man. But the true horror was yet to be revealed. As the police searched the van, they made a horrifying discovery. Adam, unconscious but alive, was hidden in the back. It turned out the man was a wanted child predator who had been stalking our school for weeks. His sinister plan was to snatch Adam away, and he had used Adam's phone to lure me and other students into his grasp. Thankfully, no one else fell for his trap, but I had unknowingly walked right into it. The shock and relief flooded over me as I realized the magnitude of the danger I had escaped. I couldn't believe the sinister intentions of the man who had pretended to be Adam's friend. Adam and I, who were merely acquaintances before this ordeal, bonded over our shared experience of surviving the predator's trap. We became close friends, supporting each other through the trauma and healing together. Our friendship grew stronger, and to this day we still stand by each other, grateful for the miracle that saved us from a fate too terrifying to imagine. Story 4. The Sleepover. My name is James, and I was excited to spend the weekend at my friend Lucas's house. We were planning to have a sleepover, play games, and enjoy the summer weather outside. I've been to Lucas's house before, and his parents always seem nice and welcoming. On this particular Saturday, I arrived at Lucas's house, and everything seemed normal. His parents greeted me warmly, and Lucas and I went straight to the basement, our favorite spot to hang out and play games. Lucas's mom even made us some delicious cookies to enjoy during our gaming session. As the hours passed and it got closer to midnight, we were fully immersed in our Xbox game. Suddenly, my phone buzzed, and I received a text message from my dad. The message read, "Lucas, you need to get out of the house right now." I was taken aback and didn't understand what was going on. I showed the message to Lucas, and he too looked puzzled and confused. Despite the confusion, I decided to listen to my dad and started making my way up the stairs. As I reached the top, I heard Lucas's parents talking loudly outside. Their voices were tense, and I could hear bits of their conversation, including, "What are we going to do? James is here." My heart raced with fear and uncertainty. Something was definitely wrong, but I didn't know how to handle the situation. Instead of sharing what I heard with Lucas, I went back down to the basement, hoping to find a solution and stay safe. Just when we were about to discuss the strange messages, my phone buzzed again with another message from my dad. This time, the message sent shivers down my spine. It said, "Lucas's parents are on TV and wanted for murder. We are on our way to pick you up with the police." I tried to remain calm, but my mind was racing with thoughts of danger and disbelief. I couldn't comprehend how Lucas's parents, who had always seemed kind, were now involved in something so horrifying. Lucas must have seen the shock on my face as I lied about the content of the message, but it wasn't long before we both heard a loud crashing sound from upstairs. We knew something was terribly wrong. Frozen with terror, we sat in the basement, not knowing what to do. A few moments later, we heard heavy footsteps approaching the basement door. The sound of the door being knocked down was deafening. Suddenly, the basement was filled with bright lights as the police stormed in. Lucas and I were gripped with fear as the police officers picked us up and brought us outside. I ran straight into my parents' arms, feeling safe and relieved to be back with them. As the police secured the house, they discovered the horrifying truth. Lucas's parents had confessed to kidnapping and torturing a random person they had picked up on the street. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. We were in the house with dangerous criminals. In the days that followed, I couldn't shake off the shock and fear of what had happened. It was hard to comprehend that someone I had known as a friend had such twisted parents. Lucas's parents were arrested, and the truth of their dark deeds came to light. The experience left a lasting impact on both Lucas and me. We were lucky to escape unharmed, but the horror of that night would forever stay with us. I couldn't help but feel a mix of guilt and relief that my dad's messages had saved us from a potentially dangerous situation. Thanks for watching the Haunted Sketchbook. Be sure to check out any of the videos on screen right now if you're planning on not sleeping tonight.